Presents the 2000 Nebraska State High School Volleyball Championships. This afternoon in the Class D2 championship game, it's the Hampton Hawks and the Loup County Wildcats. This Nebraska ETV Sports exclusive is brought to you in part by viewers like you, who are financial contributors to Nebraskans for Public Television. Hello again, everyone. This is Steve Roth, and we are ready for the D2 championship game here at Pershing Auditorium in Lincoln. And we've got number 1 versus number 2, two outstanding teams. The Hampton Hawks, who are 24-1 on the year, and guess what? Loup County Wildcats are 24-1. This is a matchup everybody's been looking for in D2, and we get it here in the championship game. Connie Lentz, the head volleyball coach at Kearney High School, is joining me today. And Connie, as we take a look at these two, the first thing you got to think about, does Loup County have any gas left in the tank? They had an unbelievable semifinal with Wheeler Central last night.
Well, I asked Coach Foster that question after the match. I was there and left the gym at 11:30, and those players walked off the court at 10 after 11. Loup County was involved in a 2-hour and 10-minute match with Wheeler Central that was just an unbelievable match. But then also Hampton was involved in a 3-set match that went an hour and 45 minutes. So both teams expended a lot of energy, had a lot of mental, emotional ups and downs, but came through it like true champions to get here. And both coaches said, you know, they've trained their athletes hard, they've conditioned hard, and they're ready.
You know, the interesting thing, Wheeler Central and Loup County had met 2 other times throughout the year, and they ended up with splitting those 2 matches. So last night wasn't a big surprise how close it was, but it was pretty amazing. We take a look at the 2 teams. They're a little different offensively. I think they run different types of offenses.
That's right. Loup County runs a 5-1, which is 1 setter setting to 5 hitters, where Hampton has a more balanced attack. They have 2 setters doing the setting, and so it will be interesting. Each team has a big hitter. Loup County has 2 big hitters, and Samantha Harvey and Sandy Brown. And then for Hampton, they have a Cooper, and her name is Sarah Cooper, and they also have Sarah Fagan. Those 2 girls last night in their semifinal match, Sarah had 28 kills, and Cooper had 20 kills, and the 2 setters had 36 and 25 assists. For Loup County, set a record, I think. Samantha Harvey had 36 kills in that match against Clearwater, and Sandy Brown had 25. And the setter, like I said, Loup County just has 1 setter. She had 61 assists. Incredible.
Yeah, Connie, one of the things I had to get used to when I started covering volleyball is starting to look up at some of these girls, to look them in the eyes. Samantha Harvey is 6'3". When I was high school, I never expected to see any gal over 5'8" or 5'10". Now they're 6'3", and she moves very well and is heading to Texas Tech next year. So it's Loup County, the Wildcats, facing the Hawks of Hampton in this Class D2 title match, and should be a good one. We already crowned the C2 champion a little earlier, in which Republican Valley knocked off Laurel Concord. So now let's go to the starting lineups. Here's PA announcer Barry Moore.
On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, U.S. Bank, Alltel, and its member schools, welcome to the final round of the 2000 NSAA Volleyball Championship. If the girls would come to the 10-foot line for introductions, please. Today's D2 matchup is between the Loup County Public Schools and Hampton High School. Ladies and gentlemen, both of these schools have outstanding teams. They each have a record of 24 wins and 1 loss. Unfortunately, only one of them can win this championship. But right now, we suggest that whoever you are, wherever you're from, you get up and give these girls a hand for being where they are this afternoon. Thank you very much. And now let's meet Loup County. Their non-starters are number 2, Siobhan Davis. Number 7, Ashley Steckel. Number 9, Sarah Stroll. Number 10, Samantha Frerick. Number 11, Pansy Dunbar. Number 13, Heather Nelson. Number 14, Andra Peterson. The starters, number 3, Jamie Foster. Number 4, Megan McNeil. Number 5, Samantha Harvey. Number 6, Erin Van Diest. Number 8, Sandy Brown. Number 12, Michaela Goss. The coach is Kathy Foster. The assistant coaches, Ruby Block and Teresa Young. For Hampton High School, the non-starters are number 3, Karen Larson. Number 5, Laurice Hansen. Number 7, Laura DeLigi. Number 9, Carrie Shepard. Number 10, Jessica Wall. Number 11, Sarah Kivens. Number 14, Krista Weber. The starters. Number 1, Katie Tranel. Number 2, Leslie Hayes. Number 4, Katie Hayden. Number 5, Jamie Neunenkamp. Number 8, Sarah Cooper. Number 12, Sarah Fagan. The head coach is Diane Corson. The assistant, Margot Labrie. The officials this afternoon are Marge Brungart and Terry Karlstrom. And now, let's play volleyball.
Ranked Hampton Hawks against number 2 ranked Loup County Wildcats, and should be a great matchup. The only loss in the year for Loup County was to Wheeler Central earlier in the year. They came back and defeated Wheeler in regular season, and then last night in the semifinals, the Hampton Hawks only lost to Shickley about midway through the season. That's the only loss they've had on the year, and the Hampton, a very balanced team, and again go with that 2-setter offense that we'll see throughout this match. Again, looking for a pretty exciting match, Connie Lentz.
It should be a great match. You talked about Samantha Harvey being 6'2", but Loup County, it's just not fair. Loup County has another player in Sandy Brown that's 6'3". So to have 2 players of that height in one team, that doesn't sound fair.
And as you sense, Samantha Harvey has committed to Texas Tech, which has done pretty well recruiting in Nebraska. They've gotten 2 or 3 players from the Cornhusker State here the past couple of years, and Samantha will be heading to play for the Red Raiders. So we're ready to get underway again. Hampton in purple and white, Loup County in black, white, and red. As they are very anxious to get this underway. Again, Republican Valley won Class C2 in our first title match, and we've got 4 more to come after this one. As Loup County goes to Samantha Harvey immediately with a kill. It'll be interesting to see as this match wears on whether or not the toll of the semifinals last night affects either one of these teams. Some long matches as the serve goes across by Sarah Fagan with the ace. Sarah Fagan, the senior for Hampton, or for Loup County. I got the wrong one. That's Michaela Goss, the 5'6" junior. I looked up and said, she's not 6'2". So Goss with another ace. Michaela Goss, 5'6" junior for Loup County.
And she's their setter, doing a nice job starting off in their 5-1 offense.
Had 15 ace serves on the season, so had 2 of them just to start this. Again, they'll be looking to Harvey. They go over Harvey, go to the other side, and it's knocked across nicely by Erin Van Diest.
You talk about emotional players. Loup County has a lot of emotional players. Sam Harvey is one of the big ones, but then she gets everybody else excited too.
Goss Knocks it across, and Hampton Hawks try to set it up. They go over to Sarah Fagan, the 6'2 senior, drives it home and side out for the Hawks.
Sarah Fagan is one of Hampton's big guns.
Nice setup by Goss, goes to the middle and driven home.
Samantha Harvey does such a great job driving to the ball. She's up in the air and she turns her body and she cuts it to the other side.
Again, the Hawks trying to set it up to their big hitter Fagan and do so. And again, it'll be side out for Hampton, who's fallen behind early here in game 1 of the Class D2 state title. Class A will be up next. Another nice set by Goss right to Harvey. So Goss really doing her job of getting the ball to their big hitter when she's in the front row.
Comes up nice back set. Harvey just goes up in the air, elbow high, snaps down.
See how Loup County does with Harvey in the back row. That'll be real important today. And again, another hit by Fagan. Blocked nicely at the net. Fagan comes right back, or that's Sarah Cooper, rather. Cooper played tough at the net. Sarah Cooper, a 5'8 junior.
During that semifinal match, Cooper came through with some big kills to get Hampton to be in this final.
So now you got Fagan in the back row for Hampton and Harvey in the back row for Loup County. And the other hitter, Sandy Brown, tries to slam one home, kept alive by Hampton. The Hawks now trying to play in the net real tough. They're trying to get the ball over to Just a Wall. But now Hampton will go into the middle, knocked across by Brown. Looking for Wall, instead go over to the other side to Cooper, who's blocked at the net. Here's Wall back with the tip. And right into the middle is Brown, and we'll have 4 hits called against Loup County, and the first point of the match for Hampton.
Brown just doesn't extend high enough. The set needed to be a little bit higher to her on that play in the middle.
Again, they go to Brown. Brown down the line, dug out nicely by Haig. Now with a hit is Cooper, and Loup County can't handle the hit by Sarah Cooper. And she's coming through, gets another point for Hampton, who closes within 1 here in game 1.
Hampton does a nice job of feeding their left sides of the ball.
Fagan knocks it across. Loup County trying to find opening. McNeil, only at 5'10", McNeil hits it well and comes up with a side out for her Loup County Wildcats. Hit it right over the block and through the block.
Only at 5'10", she's short compared to their other teammates.
McNeil. And hit into the block by Cooper again. Nice blocking up front by Brown. An excellent job. Sandy Brown put a great block on Cooper. It's pretty tough there on the
That's right. Cooper
hit.
She tries to go over the blocker's hands, but Sandy Brown's up nice and high.
Loup County takes a 4-2 lead. Hampton tried to set up the offense. They again go to Cooper. They really like to go to her, and again knocked across by Loup County. Into the middle by Wall, and Wall knocks it out. Not happy with herself on that one. Just a little strong.
Loup County single blocks in the middle, so what Hampton has to do is make that middle blocker move as far as she can.
Trying to get the offense going, and doing so is Cooper for the Hampton Hawks, who get the side out, trailing by 3.
Cooper has such a quick arm swing.
Knocked across by Trinnell. Now Brown the other way for Loup County. Trying to keep it alive is Haig. Haig finds Cooper, but Cooper too strong with it. And Loup County gets the ball right back as Jamie Foster, the 5'7 junior, gets set with the serve for the Wildcats. Again, trying to set up to Cooper. And Sarah Cooper, I'm sure they like to yell, in the home of the Hampton Hawks, comes up with a kill, and she'll go back with the serve. Trying to cut into the 3-point, or trying to extend the 3-point lead. The other way is Brown. Hits a hard one that goes off the hands of Sarah Fagan, so Brown gets the kill for Loup County.
Nice back set. She reaches high, goes line. right at the left back defender.
Again, they go to that left side as Nuenenkamp tried to spike, but got it into the net, and the point goes for Loup County.
Comes outside set. Sam Harvey's up and over the net. No place to go with the ball.
Quickly across the net. A good job by Wall as she's able to knock it off one of the Loup County players, and it'll be side out for Hampton, and coming in to serve will be Katie Hayden.
Here it comes, right off the right back defender's arms, out of bounds.
Hayden with a tough serve, dug out nicely by Loup County. Over to Harvey. Harvey tries to go down the line. Brought right back by Hampton. Nice hit by Nuenenkamp. Kept alive by McNeil. And Hampton will have to just knock it over the net and try to keep it alive. And a good job by the Hampton Hawks. I believe that was Sarah Fagan that comes up with a kill.
Just hit it right in the hole.
And Hampton will have the serve, trailing by 3. Good hard serve again, but brought nicely to the front row. There's the set by Goss, but kept alive by Hampton. Right back with it is Nuenenkamp. Nuenenkamp has Loup County caught off guard, but great save by the Wildcats. Good set by Haig. Right back with set is Goss to Harvey and knocks it home.
Harvey just such a nice job of cutting the ball. In other words, right at the last moment, she turns her wrist, either thumb down or thumb up, to cut the ball in a different direction.
Now Goss will have to go to the back row. They have set the ball so nicely for Loup County so far. Good up by Hampton. Slammed across the net by Fagan. Right back free ball now to Hampton. They look for Fagan. Fagan got caught off on the slide, tried to slide around, and the ball not quite set to her liking. As Trinnell keeps it alive for Hampton, but then it goes out of bounds. And Loup County goes up 7-3 on the Hampton Hawks. How long will it take Diane Torsen before she calls timeout? Well, not very long.
Not very long.
She knew that her team just need to regroup a little bit.
One of the things is Hampton last won a state championship in 1979, and what was neat about that, the starting setter on that 1979 championship, her daughter is number 2, Leslie Haig, who's the starting setter this year. So I wonder if Jan Holtzen says, daughter, I have a gold medal, how about yours? So what a neat story to have mom win a gold medal and then to have the daughter being a starting setter on this Hampton team this year.
Hey, do you have a question about state tournament records? Well, you can get them answered pretty easy. Just log on to our network website at net.unl.edu. Click sports, follow the prompts. Just another service of NETV Sports, Nebraska's home for sports. Here come the Hampton Hawks as they go to Fagan. Dug out nicely by Loup County. They'll keep it alive. Van Diest with the kill. And Loup County up 8-3.
Here it comes. You know, they're faking to Harvey, so the middle's got to freeze to stay with her, and then just off speed right in the hole.
Another nice serve by Loup County. Fagan blocked at the net by Samantha Harvey. And I think they'll call under the net called against Loup County. I think Harvey went too far under. And so Hampton will have the ball back and try to cut into that 5-point lead.
Yeah, as Samantha was transitioning off the net from her block, her foot went over.
Another set to Harvey terminates. When you get her set up like that, the big dog comes through.
Oh, she has such a powerful swing.
And a lot of confidence right now. But here's Fagan the other way. But another violation, a net violation underneath the net called against Hampton. And Loup County right now on a bit of a roll, leading at 9-3. So far, it doesn't appear that long match with Wheeler Central last night has affected him. Here's Fagan for the Hawks, trying to get something going. And Loup County will have to give the free ball up to Hampton. Nice pass to the front row. There's the set. Knocked across nicely by Nuenenkamp. So good job by Hampton. First of all, setting the ball up to the setter, getting the ball passed to the setter, and then there you'll see them finishing off with a kill. So nice job of handling the ball.
And Newnenkamp, who's just a freshman, did a nice job of hitting over the shorter blocker.
And had a nice serve there. That should give a little bit of a free ball here to Hampton, and they do get the free ball. And again, they go to Newnenkamp, but Harvey right there at the block, but the block hit the antenna, so it will be a point for Hampton.
The 5'10" blocker on the line and Harvey in the middle.
They'll set to the far side this time, just brought across by Foster, and Foster will pick up the side out for Loup County. And Harvey back to the back row. Samantha Harvey will step quite a ways behind that line, as I'm sure she likes to hit it pretty hard and does so. Good set by Trinnell. Blocked nicely by Brown of Loup County. Right back is Fagan who gets the kill.
That time Fagan did a nice job of splitting the block. In other words, as the blockers come over, they got to close. And the middle Brown didn't get over to close her hands right next to her right side blocker.
There's Hampton again with the serve, and we'll have a hitting violation against Loup County. And Hampton will pick up a point, and they stay within 4. 9-5 here in game 1 of the D2 championship match. Again with the set is Goss. Knocked across by Loup County. Tip across for the point by Trinnell. Katie Trinnell, the 5'6" senior, very smart decision there.
Change the tempo a little bit. Used to getting the ball hit hard at you, and then all of a sudden you just tip it over.
Goss again with the set. Brown into the block. Nice job by, guess what, just the wall, and she put up a wall. I'm sure that's never been said before, right?
You know what, on this Hampton team, there's 4 players that moms played on the Hampton team. So you're talking second-generation players here.
Loup County trying to get through that wall at the front, as they do have a good blocking setup there. Tipped right back by Cooper. And Hampton now will set up to wall. Blocked by Brown, but Brown couldn't get it back across. And here come the Hawks. They're within 1.
Little slide that goes off the blocker's hands.
Michaela Goss will set it up for Loup County. Hampton now trying to get their offense set. They'll have to go from the back row. Fagan knocks it across, but caught him off guard. Harvey did everything she could, but Fagan got it down in time, and now we'll see timeout by Loup County. Coach Kathy Foster wants to talk it over, as it has become tied. Loup County had jumped out to that lead. We're rolling along, and suddenly the Hawks came right back.
Well, Hampton has settled down now. You know, I think they were nervous at first. Their experience of being here in the final, last time they were here in the final was 1992. So, you know, Diane Torson's 15-year coach at Hampton. Kathy Foster's a 10-year coach at Loup County. Loup County's never been in the final before. Their last time at state was made it to the first round 1997, and then last year made it to the second round.
Be sure to be with us on Nebraska TV this Tuesday for Big Red Wrap-Up. This week's guest, Mike Babcock, Steve Sipple, to review today's Kansas State game. Back to action here at Pershing Auditorium, and it's a little long on the try by Brown for Loup County. By the way, Big Red Wrap-Up is 7 o'clock on Tuesdays right here on Nebraska TV. Nebraska's home for sports. Good job by Loup County keeping it alive. Here's Brown, goes into the middle, dug out nicely by Hampton's Fagan. Cooper knocks it across. Here's Goss with the set to Brown. Picked up by the Hawks. Into the middle of the wall, who gets the kill. Hampton goes up 11-9.
Wall does a nice job of cutting it to right back. She cuts it to right back. Harvey, the middle defender, doesn't rotate over to cover that line.
And an ace serve by the Hawks. So Fagan shows she can play front and back pretty well either way. Fagan again is another nice hard serve. Loup County trying to recover. Knocked across, free ball to Hampton. Into the middle, Wall tries to go over the block, knocked nicely back by McNeil. And this time the ball goes off the hands of McNeil and out. In fact, they said the ball actually hit, I think they're discussing if it hit the antenna or not. But now they're saying it's tipped, and so after some discussion among the lines judges and the officials, Hampton comes up with the point and are within 2 of taking game 1 after trailing in this first game. Goss looking to Brown. Brown able to slam it off the arms of Fagan. Good job by Brown, and they needed to get some pickup from Sandy Brown. So Luke County try to keep this in close.
Brown does a nice job of cutting it around the block.
Good hard serve by McNeil, but too long with it. And it'll go right back to the Hampton Hawks. So that is a tough break, a tough time for service error. And in fact, that's a good time for a timeout by Luke County, because you've just gotten the ball back as your opponent only needs 2 more to close out the game and then lose that momentum with a long serve. But again, one thing that we're seeing is a lot more risks being taken on the serve.
Well, both teams are very good ball handling team. Hampton just plays defense real well and serve receives well, so you have to serve tough to try to force them to make a passing error.
And coming up next, we'll have the Class A championship match here at Pershing Auditorium, and then a bit of a break and 3 more title matches tonight. Earlier, Republican Valley won the Class C2 state title with a 3-game victory over Laurel Concord. The serve by Trinnell. There's Goss setting up Brown. Brown too strong. And Hampton now trying to on game point. So right now the Hampton crowd, dressed in purple across the far away from where we sit, comes to its feet, hoping for that 15th point. Trinnell. Goss finding Brown. Brown will just have to slap it over. Free ball now, as Cooper couldn't get the set. Kind of a tough set there. Cooper really couldn't get to it. And Luke County stays alive here in game 1. Definitely need to get some points right here if they're going to keep it rolling.
Well, Brown's definitely got to step up for Luke County because Harvey's in the back row, so she's got to be able to put some blocks up and have some kills.
Good tough serve. Hampton finds just the wall. Here's the set. Goss goes to the other side, knocked across by Van Diest. Here's Wall with a hard serve, dug out by Harvey. Hampton trying to get that elusive point, and it's called out.
Here it comes. Nice set to the outside. She knows the big blocker's there. She goes up, tries to swing cross court, but it's out of bounds.
Luke County stays alive, or within 4. Brown tries to block at the wall, at the net. Knocked back across by Van Diest. Hampton into the middle of the wall, who decides to go for the tip. Nice pickup by Goss. The other way is Cooper, but the block goes wide, and another game point for Hampton. Game point number 2. Cooper with the serve. Tough serve. Picked up and just knocked across by Luke County. They go over to Wall, who able to kill for game 1 victory, 15-10. So Hampton, who fell behind early, Luke County got out to a quick 4 or 5 point lead in game 1, and Hampton just hung in there and came it up with that victory, as we'll get a chance to see how they got that 15th point.
That's right. Good serve. Tough serve. Forced the setter to not be able to take the ball, so they free balled them over. And then here she comes on that slide. And so you could see the middle blocker didn't even get there to really close down that block. Nice idea to make that single blocker move. So the middle right now starts to come behind the setter. Middle blockers drifting over there. Kill.
And Hampton showing they have a lot of different weapons. You know, when Cooper isn't able to get the kill, or Fagan, Wall came through and really got a lot. So 3 very good solid hitters in that situation. So following this match, we'll have the Class A title matchup between Lincoln Southeast, Papillion, La Vista. They've been 1 and 2 all year long. That'll be a great matchup. And then we'll have D1, C1, and Class B to finish out the evening here at Pershing Auditorium on NETV Sports, Nebraska's home for sports. As you see some of the Hampton crowd on here today. understand some snow is supposed to be on the way as well. Be interesting to see what the weather will hold down in Manhattan, Kansas for this evening's ball game between the Huskers and the Wildcats.
I thought Hampton's left side hitters did a nice job of hitting line over the shorter block. And I say shorter block, McNeil's 5'10", but Brown's 6'3", and Harvey's 6'2". So the left sides for Hampton did a really nice job of getting up and rotating and hitting line over the shorter block.
And our executive producer, Steve Alvis, informs me that they'll make sure to keep updates of the football game tonight during the volleyball matches, probably for the benefit of several people. But this we've seen some really good volleyball in that first title game in C2. Republican Valley and Laurel Concord put on quite a show with Rep Valley coming out the victor. And again, you know, it was interesting. Loup County with that early momentum, Hampton able to come back. Momentum plays such a big role in these title matches. Again, Loup County coming in with just one loss on the year to Wheeler Central, a team they later beat in the season, and then had that epic match last night. Would you say it was about 11 o'clock when it got over?
That's right. It started about 9 o'clock, and it was about 5 to 10 after 11 when they stopped playing. One thing is Loup County's only gone to three games this year, twice. So last night was their third time that they had gone to 3 games. So they're used to blowing people away, so now they've got to come back and get this set to take it to 3. Don't look for Loup County just to go away. They're going to come back. Kathy Foster's been here before. As we take a look at the stats, Hampton, you see, have 14 kills, and Loup County only had 6. The assists pretty even there, but the digs are the main thing. Hampton's been playing some pretty good defense, getting a lot of digs up.
I think you made a really good point, Connie, in the fact that Sandy Brown really has to step up for Loup County when Samantha Harvey goes to the back row. That's when all that happened, and I think that's when the kills difference came. For Hampton, they were able not to just to go to Fagan and Cooper, but they also went to Wall. So I think that was really the advantage of having a few more weapons in game 1. Let's see what happens here in game 2 as we get set for game 2 of the D2 state championship match. Loup County has never won a state title. Hampton has won one state battle clear back in 1979. So it's been a while for either one of these teams. As Loup County opens up with the serve. Fagan able to catch the line on the kill. So Fagan gets the side out for the Hampton Hawks.
Nice sharp angle. It's hard to dig the ball over on that sideline.
Harvey to the front row. Right back to Harvey. Nice set. But Harvey is there again. She is so tough staying right with it. It was a nice set by Goss. It was a good pickup by Hampton, but Harvey just hung in there.
Hey, give that freshman credit for digging that ball.
There's Trinnell setting it up for Fagan, who's able to get it off the block and the side right back out to Hampton. Hampton again won game 1. So all the pressure right now on Loup County. Here's Harvey, goes into the block of Fagan and Cooper. Loup County keeps it alive. Good job by Harvey getting it across the net. Here's the set over to Fagan, who's strong with it. So Loup County's extra effort really paid off there.
What a great save by Aaron to go clear off the court, one-hand it back in so Harvey could get it over the net.
To the front row it goes. Now Cooper tries to bring it home. Nice dig out of there by Foster of Loup County, but to no avail, as it'll still go side out to the Hampton Hawks.
That's what we call a joust at the net. 2 blockers go up, and it's the person who pushes last that usually wins the joust.
Fagan with the serve for the Hawks. Tough dig for Loup County. Here comes Brown. Dug out nicely by Fagan. Now over to Cooper, tips it across the block, and it works. Good job by Cooper. And Hampton getting the early momentum.
Nice job of switching up the tempo. Cooper had just been hammering line on him, and all of a sudden she goes off speed cross court.
Loup County in some trouble. Let's see. Wall, I think, was able to knock it across, and it will be a point for Hampton.
Yeah, what they called there was Loup County setter is a back row player, and she went up to block that ball.
Oh, tough serve. And an ace serve for Fagan. Man, that one just dropped in a hurry. And it's a 3-0 lead for the Hawks, building some momentum in game 2. Another tough serve. This one dug out by the Wildcats. Here's Brown again, across the block. A little battle at the net there, and won by the much shorter Katie Trinnell, only a 5'6". But I think you just made the good point there where she had the timing on the block and comes up with it. So another point for Hampton. Here's Fagan again. Keep going after Van Diest, who comes through. And Loup County comes up with a kill that time of Jamie Foster.
Here it comes outside, double block, but she goes right over the 2 blockers' hands.
It doesn't always have to be speed. It can be placement, and that time a great placement. Here's a set by Trinnell, goes over to Cooper. Cooper right off the hands of Foster. Took Foster a little off guard. Good job by Cooper. And side out, goes right back over to the Hampton Hawks with Katie Trinnell getting ready to serve. 5'6" senior. Brown. Back row to Hampton. Cooper looking for an opening. Dug out nicely by Foster. Tipped across by Brown. Back row kill attempt by Fagan. They'll go back to Brown. Brown trying to get it over the block. Kept alive by Trinnell for Hampton. Pushed across. Free ball now. Let's see, back row to Harvey. Hits the net. Causes some trouble for Hampton. Now they keep it alive. Trinnell finds Cooper, who went into the net. I think Trinnell took Cooper off guard there.
It was a nice rally. They kept the ball in play. Sometimes it's important to keep it in play, let the other team make the mistake.
Loup County needs some points, but a tough... Oh, a service ace for Jamie Foster. Thought that one was going to go out, but a nice placement by Foster, the 5'7" junior.
That's what you call a floater serve all of a sudden at the last minute.
Oh, and she does it again. And Brown right there at the net. Great serve, set up the great kill.
That's right. They get the overpass. Brown is right there at the net, reaches high and puts it away. Thank you for that overpass.
Let's see if Foster can keep it up. She's got her team within 2. Job by Brown. Nice set that time by Leslie Haig for Hampton, and Brown able to kill.
Here it comes. Nice quick swing again. The defensive player can't rotate over fast enough.
And that's Sarah Cooper serving it for Hampton. They lead it 4-2. They won game 1, but now the kill for Loup County. Again, Loup County lost game 1, so they gotta get game 2 here. And a nice job by Van Diest.
Yeah, just a little off-speed hit.
Brown with the serve, picked up by Cooper. Back set, it goes to wall, but it's blocked by Samantha Harvey. And you're not going to win that battle.
That's right, Harvey was waiting for her. Back set, Harvey got right on there. Look at the penetration. She's up, hands sealed over the net.
Brown, tough serve. And now a free ball for Loup County. They pass it to the front row. They get it to Harvey, but this time not able to get full throttle on it. Nice job by Wall over the block. She's a little intimidated by Harvey there. Knocked across by Van Diest. Here's the set. Oh, good job, but dug out right by Loup County. Here comes Harvey, tries to tip it across. Good job by Wall. Wall on a great block at the net.
Well, Harvey had the right idea. She's trying to go up and over the block because nobody's behind the block to dig, but unfortunately she didn't get it high enough over just the wall.
Good hard serve by Hampton. Harvey comes back with the tip. Now kept alive by Fagan. Knocked across by Van Diest, and Harvey tried to keep it up, but she rolled across the line, and so it'll be a point for Hampton.
Here it comes. Cross court.
And it'll be a side out now to Loup County, trailing it by 2. Again, they do not want the Hawks to get out of their sights here in game 2, having lost game 1, 15-10. To the front row it goes, set up by Haig. Knocked across by Fagan. Loup County goes to Harvey. Harvey just knocking it across. Free ball now for Hampton. Good job by Newnenkamp Newnenkamp comes up with a kill, and the side out goes to Hampton.
I'm so impressed with Newnenkamp's composure. She's a freshman, and she just gets right up there and rips the ball.
Served by Leslie Haig. Into the middle to Harvey. Tries to tip it across. Fagan, but Fagan was there for the block. Sarah Fagan, 6'2", senior.
That's right. She lines up on the ears, coming in. Just that little more extension, bringing her shoulders right up to her ears to have a higher reach.
Into the middle again. This time Harvey says, look out. She drives it home.
I tell you, it's so tough to block Sam Harvey one-on-one because she cuts around the block.
Van Diest to serve for Hampton. Nice floater again. Now they go to Fagan, who's blocked at the net. Looking for Harvey, goes through the block and slams it home. Keeps Loup County alive and picks up a point, bring them within 2.
Well, each team right now has their big hitters in front row, so it's who can out-hit the other one.
Into the front row, Trinnell looks into the middle. Nice tip across by Newnenkamp again. Very quick. You mentioned very mature play from a freshman.
I played in the first state volleyball tournament as a freshman. My knees were knocking together so bad.
And that time, I think the knees did knock a little bit as it went into the net. And serving is one of the toughest things you do at the state tournament because everybody's focused on you. Let's see how Samantha Harvey does. Gets it across the net. Trinnell back set to Fagan. Finds an opening. Boy, she did a great job. She gave a fake of where she was going to hit it right there. Kind of pump faked and then came back and hit it more to her right side. It looked like she was going to go cross court.
That's right. She just went right over the left side blocker.
Hampton, again, winning game 1. So Loup County trying to stay alive. It'll be Fagan now to serve, so they get her out of the front row. The wall has been tough there in the front along with Cooper. And those two can't get the block down. Good job by Megan McNeil for Loup County.
Again, that's hitting that seam right in between the right front defensive setter and then the back row defensive setter. So you have to decide who's going to get it.
McNeil with the serve. Fagan digs it out. Trinnell goes over to Cooper. Dug out by Loup County. Nice set over to the other side. Knocked across by Foster. Now into the middle. Wall gets it over the block. Dug out by Loup County. That'll be a free ball to Hampton. Trinnell looking for Cooper. Cooper is dug out. Right back is Wall. Dug out by Harvey. Good rally by both teams. Knocked right back across by Foster. Into the middle of the Wall. Wall too strong. So Loup County may get some momentum out of this. They really needed a good rally there and got it.
Nice defense. Both teams are digging balls. Both teams are keeping balls in play, so you force one team to make an error.
McNeil trying to tie this game up. Hampton now will have to give a free ball over to Loup County. Into the middle. A little mistimed by Andra Peterson, 5'8" junior who's coming to the match, and just wasn't quite ready for that set. Timing just wasn't quite there, and so Sandy Brown will come back to the front row. And they'd like to get Sandy back on track, the 6'2" senior. Good hard serve by the Hampton Hawks. There's Brown, tips it across, dug out by Trinnell. Haig now with the set. Brown is dug out, right back to Brown, but this time back into the net. Good job by Jamie Foster.
Nice dig by Jamie. All she can do is just get it up, but it was up enough to affect the timing of the hitter on the overpass.
Foster with the serve. Fagan had to dig it out quickly. Haig keeps it alive for Hampton. Wall comes up with the kill. I've really been impressed with Justa Wall, considering, you know, the light kind of shines on some of those other players, and Wall just is a very tough player mentally.
I'll tell you what, that's important to have those role players that step in and know what they have to do.
Cooper with the serve. Loup County trailing by 1 here in game 2. They lost game 1. Here's Trinnell with the set over to Fagan, too strong, and Loup County will get it back and a chance to tie again. And this is a case I know where Hampton does not want to go to a game 3. You do not want a team to gain momentum after you've got it in game 1. Trinnell, tough time on the serve. Over it goes to Newnenkamp, and Newnenkamp able to come up with the kill for Hampton.
That's right, the blockers for Loup County got just enough of the ball to affect the digger at right back.
Katie Hayden back in for Hampton to serve as Wall goes out when she rotates to the back. Here's Harvey, hits it off the net. They're going to say it's out, and they'll give the point to Hampton. Kind of a tough call there.
There it is, right off. It's hard to see that line, but it looked like the ball hit all tape.
Here's Harvey again. This one is dug out by Hampton. Good job. Neunenkamp goes into the block, and that time Harvey right there. It's so interesting to see Harvey and Gaz side by side as Gaz will serve it across. Neunenkamp knocks it across, and they're going to call left against Loup County. Back to Hampton, who leads it by 2.
Smart play. It's just a two-hand tip, but she takes it right to the setter, who has to play the first ball. Keeps Loup County out of their offense.
Gaz again to Harvey, who tips it across the block. She makes some good decisions and gets this side out to Loup County.
That was a great play. You just think she's just going to smear the ball, and all of a sudden, off speed.
Van Diest on the serve. Here's Trinnell looking for Fagan. Van Diest digs it out. Loup County the other way. Harvey just has to knock it across. Free ball for Hampton. Here's Fagan on the slide. Tips it across Harvey. Harvey keeps it alive. Good job by Van Diest. Good rally again. At the net was Fagan. Hampton, Loup County with a great job there keeping it alive. The other way is Neunenkamp, and she finishes it off. So Neunenkamp, another big hit.
Great rally.
Again, Loup County must win this game to stay alive in the state title match. Good job of placement again by Jamie Foster.
I always say a kill's a kill. It counts the same in the stats. Doesn't matter how hard it's hit, where it's hit, kill's a kill. And that was a nice off-speed down the line by Foster.
She has great court vision, too. Here's Harvey with a tough serve. And a great job by Brown that time, blocking on Trinnell.
Good job. That time, Brown has more extension up over the net. She reached a little higher that time. Sometimes she has her elbows been a little too much on her block, so that time she was up and over.
Good tough serve, and that sets it up now. Free ball. Harvey will get it to the front row. In the middle, they go to Brown. Blocked partially by Fagan. Trinnell looking over to Cooper. Blocked at the net. Good job that time by Megan McNeil.
That's right. She said, "You've gone line too many times on me today," and she took it away that time.
And we are tied at 7. Loup County has been battling to get the score tied. Nice back set. Fagan blocked at the net by Brown. Over to Cooper, who has to knock it across. Kept alive by Van Diest, back across. Van Diest still keeping it alive. And from her knees, she gets it across. In the middle, here's Cooper, tips it across the block. Another dig out try. Boy, Loup County really stayed after it. But Hampton kept finding the holes.
What a great play. Again, on a scramble play, off speed, everybody's out of position, put it in the hole.
Boy, the crowd really liked that. Then Diest once again to the front row. Knocked back across by McNeil. There's Trinnell into the middle to Wall. Dug out by Harvey. To Brown off of Fagan's hands and gets the kill. And Loup County a chance to take the first lead here in game 2.
That's great. Brown comes in really nice and splits the seam of the two blocker. The left side doesn't get over with the middle to close quick enough.
Good strong serve. Threw up in the air. Trinnell now looking for Cooper. Blocked at the net. Now they give it to Brown. Brown a little strong with it. Dug down by Neunenkamp. Into the middle of the Wall. Tips it across Brown's block this time. Brown says, "Fair game. You tried it on me. I'll tip it right back."
That's right, and it forces the setter to have to come behind the block, and so that time she didn't quite get there. So either way, you're making the setter have to play the first ball.
Into the back row. Trinnell into the middle, and there's Wall, who's able to come up with the kill.
Wall just has such a quick arm swing from her elbow to her wrist. It's so fast.
Over it goes to Brown. Gets it through the block. Good job by Sandy Brown, 6'2" senior.
Nice cross-court hit in between that seam of left front and left back.
Oh, Fagan got caught off guard. I think that was one of those she made an indecision on. When you're indecisive, he who hesitates is lost, or in this case, she who hesitates is lost.
Well, Foster serves a really nice floater, so all of a sudden it kind of takes off on you.
She tried to go for the line that time, got a little too fine with it. She has served very well in this match. Loup County now up by 2, but Hampton with the ball. Cooper with the serve. Now it goes over to Brown, trying to get it through the block, and comes up with the kill. Side out, right back it goes to Loup County.
And that time Brown hit from the right side. Instead of always coming into the middle, she serve received on the right side and came right through with that right side attack.
Back set to Wall, but she is met by Samantha Harvey.
She met the Harvey wall.
Yeah, exactly. And timeout for Hampton now.
That was a great view of Harvey. Total extension over the net. So when you penetrate like that, her hands are clear over on the other side of the net. That gives the hitter absolutely no angle to hit. Great penetration.
And she's getting into the head of Justa Wall just a little bit. Justa, you can see the frustration on her face because there isn't a lot she can do with that in that situation because she's so mismatched height-wise.
Well, Loup County right now is only single blocking the middle. They'll double block the sides, the right sides and the left sides, but they only single block the middle. So what Justa Wall has to do is cut on the inside of Harvey, either hand of hers, and also maybe try to use her inside or outside hand to tool the block, like we saw the Rep Valley hitters doing against
Laurel Concord.
Laurel Concord. It's like, whoa, who did we just see? But anyway, yeah, that's what the block has to do. The hitter has to do against a big blocker like Samantha Harvey's. You got to tool that block a little bit.
Wait till the next match, Connie will forget her own name. Nice job by Cooper getting it up front as Hampton trailing by 3 here in game 2. Harvey now goes the other way. Right back are the Hawks. Harvey with a partial block. They'll try to set it to her. They do so. Tips it over the block and gets it right on the line. Great placement by Samantha Harvey. The Texas Tech recruit should make her Red Raider coaches smile.
That's a great play because she saw the double block. So when the left side comes over, there's nobody over there.
Nice serve, an indecision there by Hampton. And now Loup County's got the momentum. Again, they lost game 1, 15-10, but ahead here 12-7 in game 2. In tough serve. Picked up by the Hawks into the middle of the wall over Harvey. Kept alive. Harvey now with a kind of off balance hit. Right back is Fagan. They'll go to Harvey again. This time the short set is good. Good job on the set. Good decision by Michaela Goss.
Harvey can hit the ball so hard. And so when she can come in and that setter puts it right up to her hand, it gives her a chance to really cut it.
Good communication on those two. The other way is Nunnenkamp for Hampton. Right back, Harvey tips it over the block and gets another one. Again, you just don't know what she's going to do. And now 1 point away from tying up this match.
Harvey has such great court presence. In other words, that's what you want your hitters to do. As they're coming in on the approach, they should look over and see where those holes are before they go up and hit the ball. Or else their person who's covering their block, covering the hitters, should be telling them 1's up, 2 ups, or go angle, or go line. And so Harvey just sees the court. Of course, when you're 6'2", I guess you can see the court better than a lot of other people on the court.
Well, we've had some great shots of these two coaches right there. You see Diane Torson for Hampton, a little concern on her face. Hey, there's a familiar face. Kathy Wieskamp, who will be doing some of our broadcasts this evening, but she's right now thinking about her Lincoln Southeast team, which will be in the Class A finals coming up next.
I guess I should thank her, right? For her team being in the Southeast finals, I wouldn't be here.
Here we go with Sandy Brown as the Loup County with a game point here. Game point try. They'll try to get it to Harvey. And we're tied at a game of pace, and Harvey shows some great emotion.
And I think that's probably what Coach Foster told Harvey. Go out and hit the ball hard and then off speed. So, you know, she's just a tremendous hitter. She can do a lot of things.
I personally love to see that emotion, and I think in volleyball it's great. However, I'm sure it can turn the other way on you too, that an emotional person when they get behind might tend to let down a little bit. But we have seen two great emotional players in that first match when we saw Monica Brown for Republican Valley. She also had great emotion and I think was a leader on that team.
It is nice set. Again, puts it right up in Samantha's wheelhouse. Wheelhouse meaning right in body line. You notice that her elbow hand was directly over her shoulder, and when she snapped that whip, that ball was straight down.
So there you see the scores of the first two games, very tight. In our first one today, in Republican Valley defeating Laurel Concord 13-15, 15-10, 15-9. So it's been that kind of day so far, and we don't expect it to change.
You know what, Steve? I think I could set Samantha and get some assists. I mean, you put the ball up within 2 to 3 feet around that net, and she's going to put it down.
Connie, I got a question for you on that. Is there any kind of signal or indication that a setter gives to the hitter, whether it'll be a short set, which is close to the net, or whether it'll be a high set? Or is it just a kind of a body language communication?
Well, each team has their number system as far as what plays that they try to run along the net or what sets that they call. And, you know, and so, yeah, it is the communication between the middle hitter. In most situations, the middle hitter is what you call the primary hitter. Their first usually option is always going to be a quick. And if that quick or short set's not there, then they run, or if the pass isn't there to be able to run it, then they run something else. And when the pass is off so that the setter can't set the middle, then the outsides know, or the left sides or the right sides know that they've got to be the secondary hitter and to hit, usually in an emergency situation, they're going to hit every high ball that's set to the outside, or also some shoot sets that are set to the outside. So yeah, a lot of times those plays are called. A lot of times it's the hitters just maybe not even calling a number, but just driving in and saying, I'm here, 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 or, you know, hut, 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 or something. So yeah, there's communication between the setter and the hitter. When you're in a big auditorium like this, sometimes there's miscommunications because of noise, and you can't hear each other.
Now you say hut, 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 and I want to get up and block. Hey, let's take a look at those stats in game two. And as you can see, Loup County getting a couple more assists. Diggs actually went Hampton's way in that, and kills just a couple for Loup County. So still very close statistically, pretty close on the scoreboard, but momentum went Loup County's way.
Well, I think very even. I see the one thing that stands out, and that is Loup County had 3 ace serves versus Hampton's only 1. So again, you know, Loup County now is serving tougher. Maybe they didn't get an ace all the time, but they created serving situations where Hampton was out of their offense.
And you know, in that first game, we heard a lot from Sarah Cooper. Did not hear her name much in that second game. And Justa Wall got intimidated a little bit by Samantha Harvey. They got Harvey, Loup County got Harvey more involved in their offense. That was really the difference in those two games. The first game, the 3 big hitters all came through for Hampton. In the second game, it was more of the Samantha Harvey show that really took over. And then also you had some great digs by some of those other, Ben Deist had some great digs in that game for Loup County. And I just think their effort they gave in the second game made a difference. So let's see how we go here in game 3 of the D2 state championship game here at Pershing Auditorium in Lincoln. I'm Steve Roth. Connie Lenz alongside me. And Loup County now will have to hustle to keep this one alive. And what a job by Samantha Harvey. But her teammates also helped her out a lot there. Gaz, I think, made a great dig to start that out.
That's the key. And to all those young fans that are watching at home, you never give up on a ball.
Goss gets the serve. Here's Hampton the other way. See if they can get it rolling. Newnenkamp is blocked at the net by Harvey. Harvey into the middle. Makes no mistake about that one.
Sarah Fagan's asking her, Coach, what did I do? You told me to line up on her arm, and then she cuts it around her.
And right now, Hampton just wants to get Harvey rotated out of that front row. Here's Fagan the other way. And they need to get Fagan involved in their offense. Van Deist able to get one driven home.
Now
and she's had a nice match.
Oh, that was a great job because Fagan stayed with Harvey. There was absolutely no block on the outside.
Gaz again with the serve. Hampton will set up Fagan. Fagan off of Brown's arm. Van Deist keeps it alive. Harvey will have to knock it over. Free ball opportunity for Hampton, but they don't take advantage of it, and they give a free ball right back to Loup County. Can't do that. Here's Harvey off the block of Fagan. Kept alive by the Hawks. Fagan right back with it. Big rally here for both teams. Trinnell to the front row. Fagan off the block of Harvey, who comes up with a point for Loup County.
Well, Fagan tries a little slide, but Harvey's right there. Fagan's got to run that slide a little wider out to the antenna to make Harvey move more.
Here's Fagan now, tips it up over Harvey and able to get a big side out. They really needed to try to stop the momentum, and they want to continue that rotation as well. Loup County leading it by 3. Each team has won a game so far. Harvey causes Fagan to go into the net, and it'll be side out to Loup County.
The critical thing for a blocker is to reach first with the hands, not the arms. You got to take the hands high up over the net.
Fagan that time able to go straight down with a good kill by Fagan.
She did a nice job of cutting inside the block.
6'2" senior Sarah Fagan. Hampton now trying to cut into that 3-point Loup County lead. Here's Harvey able to knock it off the hands of Katie Hayden, and Loup County will get it back. But now they did get Harvey to the back row.
And the
That's
thing
an
about
advantage.
Harvey is she drives so well to the ball. Even being 6'2", she still jumps up and hits over that block.
Good serve by Harvey. To the back row it goes. Van Diest, nice pass to the front. Knocked across by Foster, who's been playing very well in these last 2 games. Fagan couldn't get a good hand on a nice over, but a little bit too strong with it was Leslie Haig. And Hampton out of rhythm right now. All the rhythm going to Loup County. That's the way Loup County looked in the first game. They were out of rhythm. And Loup County won game 2. Hampton again having trouble with that serve. So Harvey shows that she can serve the ball pretty well, but that time not able to handle it was Michaela Goss. And Hampton gets a big side out here. And this is where Hampton has to go to work. They really need to be aggressive right now, trailing at 4-0 in game 3. To the front they'll go to Brown. Dug out by Fagan. Brown right back with it. And that is what they have been looking from Sandy Brown. She started off slow in game 1, but these last 2 games, Sandy Brown has been a factor.
You know, I think it was Sandy Brown that Coach Foster was talking about last night that had a cold, and so she really wasn't feeling well. And maybe we saw some of that in that first set.
Well, there's a service mistake by Megan McNeil. Hampton gets it back, and Katie Trinnell will give her shot at it here with her team down 4-0. Harvey able just to knock it across. Trinnell will set it up to Foster, who we haven't heard from for a while. And Foster gets a much-needed kill for the Hampton Hawks. And boy, they'd like to get her rolling. And this is when they need to do it. Right now, this is what they like. They like to have Wall and Foster in the front row with Harvey in the back row. Harvey back row kill attempt. Nice job by Fagan, knocks it across. And Loup County keeps it alive. Here's the set to go over to Cooper. Cooper not quite able to get it. And I think I misspoke earlier that Sarah Cooper, number 8 for Hampton, and that time not able to get the kill. They get the tip try.
Well, again, good double block by the setter and Sandy Brown for Loup County.
To the front row it goes. A little bit of a miss up there, but Cooper able to get it across. Here's Loup County the other way. Van Diest dug out by Fagan. Hampton tried to keep it going. Cooper that time slams it to the back row. Van Diest just knocks it across, but tough try by Fagan. Now it'll be bumped across for Loup County. Into the middle is Brown. Tip try up over is good. So Sandy Brown picks up another point for Loup County. And just when Hampton was trying to get back in it, as you see a nice try there by Brown.
That's good court awareness. Again, the double block. Left side comes over with the middle, so no one's at left side to dig that ball.
There's Foster, who's such a tough server for Loup County. Cooper, right into our lap comes the ball. As you saw that camera come over, you might saw, and you notice I let the coach handle that one. I went under the table. The coach gets all the balls in. Nice job by Van Diest.
That's that emergency move.
Well, that time, good job by Cooper, and over on that other side, I believe is that Newnenkamp? It was Newnenkamp, as we get a chance to see on the replay. Cooper knocks it across. Harvey digs it out for Loup County. Here's Brown. Knocks it off of Fagan. Wall tried to set it up, but good job by Brown. Got it back across. In fact, Brown and Goss were kind of battling for it. And Loup County leads it 5-2 here in game 3. Nice floating serve. There's Haig trying to set it up. Good job by Newnenkamp. Kept alive by Loup County. Van Diest, I believe, again digging it out. And that one goes off the hands of one of the Loup County Wildcats, and Hampton will have the ball back. So Hampton hanging in there.
You know, Van Diest is one of those players that you may not see show up in the stats a lot, but it's her digging, it's her passing that is so crucial to this Loup County team.
There's an example of that good passing to the front row, and a nice kill by Harvey, maybe? Yes. Good hustle play by Hampton. Had they gotten that across, that would have given some momentum.
Van Boen tipped that was a very legal play. Off the head and shoulder, first contact over, totally legal.
There's a set over to Fagan, blocked by Harvey. Harvey right back with the termination. And a great transition by Harvey, going from blocker to hitter.
Right, transition in volleyball sometimes only a split second. And she took that block and cut it to right front area. Not right back, right front area. Incredible.
Diane Torson, the Hampton coach, seeing your team in a little trouble here, down 6-2 in game 3, calls timeout. And there you see the Loup County huddle, as Coach Kathy Foster has to be happy with the way her team has come back in this game, losing the first game 15-10, but they came back strong in game 2 to win it 15-7 and lead it here in game 3. In her first championship match today, it was Republican Valley defeating Laurel Concord in 3 games to claim their 3rd straight C2 state championship match.
Tell you, a lot of credit goes to these team setters. All setters are just running around, putting the ball up so their hitters have a hittable ball. And Goss from Loup County is just doing a nice job of always getting the ball to who she needs to get it to, whether it's Samantha or getting it to the outside or the right side. Nice job.
And Goss gets the serve now for Loup County. Into the middle it goes. Newnenkamp blocked by Harvey with some help from McNeil. Back to Harvey, and that's almost a sure deal.
You're not going to block Harvey one-on-one. Here she comes again, single block. She just cuts right around it. Truly a Division I athlete.
There's Fagan with a nice hit, but kept alive. There's Van Diest again. Fagan tips it over Harvey and gets it to drop. Good job by Fagan. But you saw a great athletic play by Van Diest.
Again, she makes a great dig, but a little off speed. She doesn't have her weight forward to run through that ball.
Harvey this time tried to go for the placement and did get the placement right on the line. She has such great court vision. I think that really helps her with her height. She gets up there, gets to see the court good, and makes some good decisions. Cooper kept it alive. Now Hampton just has to knock it across, and Loup County gets a free ball to Harvey. Tips it across. Fagan called for the lift. And another point for Loup County, trying to edge a little closer.
She took it just right over the blocker's hand, so as the blocker's on her way down, it came off her hands.
Loup County has never won a state title, and they're getting point by point closer as they now lead it 9-2. Hampton just needs to get some momentum. Right now, you take it a step at a time. They just need that side out. Trinell over to Fagan. Fagan gets it through the block. And that's that desperately needed side out that Hampton needed.
That's right, and in that serve-receive pattern for Hampton, Fagan's on the left side, and when you set her left side, she's kind of unstoppable from out there.
Here's Harvey. Speaking of unstoppable, but no, they're going to sit. Well, now there's a lot of discussion on the floor. Now, what I think the call, it might be a replay. I think there was a two different calls by each official. One official called one way, another official called the other, so I think it'll be a replay.
Well, what the one official called was the ball on the floor. And it was hard to tell if the Hampton player did what we call a pancake, where she got her hand under it to keep it off the floor. And so we have a replay as a result.
Or as they sometimes call it in golf, do-over or a mulligan. Here's Turnell into the middle. Knocked home by Fagan. So Hampton getting some momentum now. Trying to get rolling, trying to cut into that big lead.
That could be a critical point in this match.
Here's the back set to Harvey. And Harvey able to get the ball back. But Harvey rotates to the back row. However, she's a tough server.
Nice right side attack down the line again. That middle back person doesn't rotate over to make the pass.
Again, a tough serve, making it very tough for Hampton. Has to give up the free ball. Nice set into the middle. Here's Brown, blocked by Fagan. Good job by Fagan.
Fagan did a nice job of lining right up on the block, lining her block right up on the hitter. Brown came straight on. You don't really want your hitter to come straight on. You want your hitter to come in an angle so you have more options.
They look for Brown again. Brown just has to kind of knock it across. Turnell will try to set it up to Cooper. Cooper blocked at the net. They'll fake it to Brown, instead go to the other side, and again it's just Foster gets it across. And Jessica Wall having a little trouble on the timing there. Couldn't quite get her hands on it. As you see, she just really wasn't set to her very well.
Right, it was outside her body line, which means you want that hitter to be able to hit the ball right over her shoulder, and the ball was set across her body, so she had to reach out of body line.
Andrew Peterson comes in to serve for Loup County, who leads in 9-3 here in game 3. Cooper tries to go down the line. Harvey really digs nicely. Here's Brown, knocks it across. Turnell back set. Wall looking for an opening. Good job by Peterson. Brown knocks it back across. Here's Cooper. Mistimed it a bit, went into the net. And Loup County 5 away from a state title, their first ever.
That's the thing, you notice that we haven't been saying Cooper's name a lot in this match. I mean, in this game, rather.
Cooper will try again and goes long. And the timing just a little off right now.
And so sometimes what happens is when you're a hitter not in your rhythm, you start to press a little bit. You try a little bit too hard. And then when you start to press, you don't just hit naturally. Here it comes again. Cooper comes in nice and high, but she doesn't get her elbow up to get on top of the ball, and she drives it long.
Well, in the first game, it was Hampton winning it 15-10 and actually led in that second game. But then Loup County got back into it, won it 15-7 and lead it 11-3 here in the second game. Kind of somewhat similar to our first match today, in which the team that won the first game was not able to hang on to that momentum.
Momentum is just such a thing in volleyball that you can't control. When you get it, you seize the moment, but it just comes and goes so much. But you've got to be consistent and hang in there even when things don't go your way.
Well, Loup County leading at 11-3. Hampton trying to get back into it as they go to Cooper. Cooper dug out tough again by Van Dies. Foster blocked at the net. Van Dies this time couldn't get it. Good job by Hampton. Standing there tough.
Cooper comes out of the timeout and has a nice swing. It wasn't for a kill, but it resulted in her team getting the ball.
Katie Turnell will try to get her team back on track.
You know, I have great respect for this young lady. The York newspaper told me that she's a young lady that competes with a disease called cystic fibrosis. And not only is she a great volleyball player, she's a great cross-country and track runner. And to compete with that kind of an illness, what a great example for so many young athletes.
And in those sports especially. I mean, it's just amazing that she can be in cross-country. Here we go. Brown for Loup County finds an opening.
Here it comes. Brown lifts high. Not a hard swing, but a little off speed just to fall in that, what we call the donut, the hole.
Here's Foster again, such a tough server. Hampton does a nice job setting it up, and Cooper too strong. And Sarah's just struggling a bit here. But they keep giving her the ball, try to get her confidence back, because she is key to this team. She's played so well for them. Another nice serve by Foster. You never know where she's going to serve. Here's Justa Wall, tries to get it through Brown. They go over to Van Diest. Seems to be everywhere right now. Back to Cooper, blocked by Brown. Brown is right there. Within 2 now for Loup County.
You know, the thing I do like about Cooper, though, is she never changes her expression, whether she has a kill or she gets blocked. She just goes back, tries to do her business.
This time they'll go to Wall. Wall had it blocked by Brown. Right back here goes Loup County. Nice. Oh, Brown had to bend back a little bit. Here's Haig, goes over to Wall, and Wall this time able to knock it off of Brown.
And that's what Hampton did in the first game. They ran Wall on a lot of slides to make that middle blocker for Loup County move, and that time they did the same thing. They need to do more of that.
Tough serve that time, really set up that point. A good serve by Cooper. Excellent job. Keeps the Hawks in it, but they need to pick up a few more. Tough serve again by Cooper. Here's Brown getting set up. Fagan digs it out. Knocked across by Wall. Set by Gauze. Over to Brown. Tips it across. Neunenkamp gets it back. Neunenkamp dug out by Harvey. And Loup County now just have to get it across in free ball to Hampton. Here's Wall able to finish off the kill.
And again, Wall tooled the block that time. She hit it on the outside hand of the blocker.
Hampton climbing back in, slowly but surely. Cooper. Harvey to the front row. Van Diest will give it a shot and gets it off of Wall's hands. Inside out to Loup County. And I think that'll put Harvey back to the front row, so that's what Loup County wanted. Brown on the serve. Neunenkamp for Hampton. Gets it just inside the line. Good job by Neunenkamp.
Again, just goes up, no hesitation. She just says, I'm going to swing hard. And it's in the left back corner.
Into serve is Hayden. Loup County keeps it alive. Gauze, way high serve, and right there's Fagan. Well, Gauze knows she made a mistake there. She hasn't made many of them today, that's for sure.
The thing on her set was she didn't square her shoulders, and so one hand pushed the ball over the net on the other side, and Fagan said, I'll take that.
Oh, tough serve in the ace for Katie Hayden, the 5'6" junior. And Hampton is not going to go away quietly. Set by Gauze, looks to Harvey. Harvey tries to get it across. Nice pickup by Cooper. Fagan knocks it across. Loup County goes right back to Harvey. Harvey off the hands of Hayden. And that's the thing with Harvey. She hits it with enough speed. If you just don't have to be in right position, it's awful hard to keep that ball alive.
That's right. You want to block the ball. In other words, take your shoulders to the ball. And that time she was just a little sideways, so the ball just skipped right off her arms.
Fagan with the kill attempt. Knocked across by Loup County. Fagan again will get a shot at it. Harvey's right there to knock the tip back. But good job, but net violation by Leslie Haig. Haig did a nice job, but we had a good view of it, and she does just get into the net, as you'll see here.
That's right.
Right
just reaches
there.
up, catches it with her elbow on the way down.
Here we go, match point. Fagan trying to keep Hampton alive, and does so. So Loup County trying to get their state title right there. So they've had one crack at it. Let's see if Hampton can get it.
Fagan did a nice job of siding out on that.
But Harvey will get it right back and terminates.
Terminate is the word. Check the floor for dents.
So here we go. Match point again, trying to get their first ever state title. Hampton keeps it alive. Here's Trinnell. Looks for Fagan. Fagan with a nice hit. They'll go to Harvey. Harvey couldn't find the spot a little long, and she knows it.
She just rushed a little bit. She knew it.
And I think she'll rotate over to the right side this next time
That's right.
across.
She just had her elbow down a little bit, which pushed the ball out of bounds.
Hampton hanging in there tough. Harvey too strong with it. And that's what Hampton needs to make a run right here. Oh, yes, yep, she knew it.
Yep.
Nuenkamp with the serve. Harvey will set it over to Van Diest. Off the hands of Haig, kept alive by Nuenkamp. Haig knocks it across. Brown to the front row, looking for Harvey. Picked up nicely by Hayden. Fagan keeps it alive. Van Diest to the front row. Goss looks for Harvey, blocked by Fagan. And Goss got a little miscommunication that time between Brown and Harvey, and timeout for Loup County Wildcats.
This is great volleyball. This is fun. And you know what? See, this is just proof that when you get somebody like these athletes, whether it's Class A or D2, these ladies are playing as hard as they can play. Great reach. Close plays at the net.
To keep this up, I'll be pretty wore out by the day's end. We'll have 6 matches total for you here on NETV, your home for Nebraska sports. Coming up next, Class A, it'll be a Lincoln Southeast facing Lincoln Papillion, 1 versus 2. And then we'll have Class D1, Freeman meeting Humphrey St. Francis, another 1 versus 2.
Hey, I have a suggestion. I think the folks at home should set their VCR for the football game and watch volleyball.
Spoken like a true coach. Here we go. Hampton trying to keep that momentum, and Fagan gives it to him with another point. They're within 3. They have already fought off 2 match points.
Fagan did an excellent job of cutting around Harvey. Elbow was high, and she snapped it the opposite direction of the blocker.
Tough serve. Picked up by Van Diest. Nice job by Goss to Harvey. Harvey comes right back, knocks it across. They'll set up Fagan on the slide. Harvey can't get there. Fagan has come alive. And look at the Hampton crowd getting into it.
I think that's what we talked about was, you know, getting Hampton to get on those swings a little more to make that middle blocker have to move. Excellent job.
Well, Brown comes out and Kenzie Dunbar comes in. They trade a lot of height. They're going to go with a little more ball handling abilities in the back row. Here's Harvey, tips it across Fagan. Dug out nicely by Cooper. Fagan tries to tip back. She's rejected by Harvey. Cooper with a tough serve. And Van Diest again. Big
Great
rally
hustle by
here.
Foster.
Fagan gets it home again. You know, not only has Fagan come alive, Cooper has really kept her composure.
That's right. Momentum.
Hampton has come within 1. They fought off 2 match points. One, I think, was at 14-7, the other 14-9. And have drawn themselves within 1. And this is big right here, because if you can get it knotted at 14, all of a sudden.
Here's the save. Foster goes clear out over to the score tables.
Wow.
And they bring it back in. What great hustle. But pursuit. That means you run the ball down, you go off the court, somebody else has to follow you. And that was great pursuit by Loup County.
And a good job by Fagan of not losing her composure when the great save came across, got herself in position, and still able to get the kill for Hampton.
That's right, staying in the game and not celebrating too early.
We're in game 3. Much like our first match, the second match has been full of excitement. Nuenkamp, tough serve. Loup County's Goss. Over to Foster. Now Cooper will get a shot. And she's able to deliver. And ties it up at 14. And again, keeping her composure has been so key. As you see her right here, just go right into the block.
Right. Loup County's got to find a way to get Samantha Harvey the ball. And with her over on the right side, Samantha's just coming in on the right side to hit. Well, if the pass isn't exactly on target for the setter, she's having difficulty getting Samantha the ball on the right side. I think Samantha would need to fake like she's coming on the right side and then drive in the middle. In other words, swing a different direction. If Hampton knows that she's going to hit on the right side, then she needs to mix it up a little bit and come in at a different place. But, you know, that's how they've done their serve receive all year, and that's been successful, so that's what they're staying with.
Nuenkamp too strong. Boy, that momentum breaker, but Shouldn't be upset because she has served so well prior to that. But again, that timeout situation makes a difference.
That's right. Freeze the server a little bit. Samantha's in the back row. We'll see what happens for Luke County.
Trinnell, who has served set very well, gets a Fagan, but she is blocked at the net by Sandy Brown.
Sandy Brown did an excellent job of penetration that time. She gets over, she plants, she fully extends her arms and reaches over the net.
And timeout for Hampton as Luke County will get set for their third match point try. The thing about, even though Samantha Harvey's gone to the back row, she is an excellent server. So that is an advantage that Luke County has in this situation.
That's right. Your serve is a weapon. And she's using it basically for her. It's a back row attack.
This has just been a great matchup. Both teams only losing one match on the year. Hampton lost to Shickley. Luke County lost to Wheeler Central, who they later defeated and then also defeated in an epic match last night. I got to think Luke County is a little bit tired, but, you know, Hampton didn't have an easy time of it last night either over Clearwater. There's the serve. Hampton gets a nice setup to Fagan, tips it across the block. Right back, Brown now will hit it long. Set over to Cooper, delivered.
You're right, she delivered. That time they had a good set. Good set right to her, and she hits right over again McNeil, who is the shorter blocker of the two. Excellent play.
Fagan now with the serve. Van Diest up to the front row. Here comes Brown off the block. Now they'll look over to Cooper again. Dug out by Van Diest. Right back with it is Wall to the front row. Now they'll try to find Brown. Knocks it across. Fagan from the back gets it into the empty hole, and we're tied again.
And the key is you have to win by 2, so we could be here for a while.
Harvey to the front row. Goss sets up Brown a little too deep. Let's see what Trinnell can do. Over to Wall. Wall tips it across the block. They try to find Brown again. She just kind of tipped the net, and really the net was her friend there because it threw off the timing of the Hampton players.
That's right. She just kind of off-speeds it right in the hole. Left back doesn't run through the ball, and so the ball's down.
And again comes Andre Peterson to serve. He's come in as a specialist in that spot. Andre gets it over nice. Trinnell looks over to Cooper, who's been hot and continues the trend.
Cooper's coming through in the clutch time.
And again, seems to find a hole in that block. Now, so far, Hampton has fought off 3 match points. If Hampton should score here, we'll see how Luke County reacts. Picked up by Harvey. Over to Brown. Brown off the tip. Now back it goes to Fagan, a little bit off balance. In the middle to Brown. Hampton keeping it alive. Here's Haig to set up to Brown. Tipped that time by Brown at the net. That was Cooper before. Cooper trying to set up again. Instead, Fagan goes over the net with it. And a point for Hampton, and they'll have their first try at match point.
Nice cross court, deep into cross court at left back.
Trinnell, Van Diest up front. They go to Brown. Brown tries to find an opening. Van Diest keeps it alive once again. Brown again off of Wall, and what a job by Van Diest. She has just been a game saver.
That was a great play. Volleyball is just reflex, and she just sticks out the hand as a reflex to get the ball up.
So Luke County responded to match point. Foster, a tough server. Fagan keeps it alive. Over to Wall, into the block of Brown. Sandy Brown with the block. Had some help over there from Goss.
Sandy again does a nice job of really extending over the net.
So we're tied again, this time at 16. Back set Haig. At that time, a mistake by Cooper went right into the block of Sandy Brown.
Well, she's up nice and high, but she forgets that Sandy Brown is 6'3", and when she jumps, she's got a big reach.
Another game point, match point opportunity. Wall keeps it alive. Into the middle, they go to Brown. Fagan keeps it going. Haig across the net. Set goes over to Van Diest, who can't handle. And another match point fought off by the Hampton Hawks. Their 5th, I believe.
You know, that starts to wear on you mentally, thinking, what do we have to do to close this thing out?
Van Diest to the front. Gauze just has to kind of keep it alive. Van Diest across the net. Chance for Haig now to set. A nice hit by Nuninkamp. Brown going to set for Van Diest and can't get out. And you have Brown set, and you know you're in a little trouble there.
That's right. She just really set the ball tight to the net, and when you have a short hitter like that, that traps him on the net.
Here's Cooper's save at 17 all. Across with it is Brown. Now Haig is going to set to Wall. Wall has it knocked up by Harvey. Into the middle is Brown. Wall gets it up over the tall Sandy Brown. Goes over to Van Diest. Is too strong, it goes out. And we'll have match point number 2 now for the Hampton Hawks.
Hey, you want your hitters to be aggressive. All of a sudden they start getting tentative and tipping, and she took a swing and just missed it.
Van Diest to the front. Now they'll go to Brown. Kept alive by Cooper. Here's Brown. Nice hit in the middle, dug out by Wall. Brown stays tough at the net. Here's Brown again, dug out by Fagan this time. Haig over to Nuninkamp. Champs, Hampton Hawks.
The freshman with the kill. Great match. Just like Barry says when he announces the introductions, it's too bad someone has to lose this game. Great game.
So Hampton, your D2 state champs, winning it in 3 by scores of 15-10, 7-15, and 19-17. Loup County had 5 match point opportunities. Hampton fought them all off.
Here it comes. So receive to Brown. Nice dig, and here takes her overpass. So again, they're not putting the ball away. Hampton's able to dig it up. Nice set. She splits the block. Hits right through the seam of Brown and Goss. Goss being the setter, being the shorter. Nice play.
Well, first state title for Hampton since 1979. Their only state title was that year, their 8th trip to state. So they're happy about that. Loup County had not won a state title. The first time to the finals. And really have had a great, great season. As you see Samantha Harvey, of course, heartbroken as a senior. Wanted to get that title so much for her Wildcat team. Certainly can't be faulted for her play.
Here are the awards.
So now let's go to the award ceremony, and let's go to our public address announcer, Barry Moore.
Step out toward the middle of the court to present the silver medals to each team member. Players, as your name is called, please come out to get your medal. Siobhan Davis. Ashley Steckel. Sarah Stroll. Samantha Frericks. Tansy Dunbar. Heather Nelson. Andrea Peterson. Jamie Foster. Megan McNeil. Samantha Harvey. Aaron Van Dies. Sandy Brown. Michaela Goss. All of you are welcome to receive the runner-up trophy for your school. Congratulations, Loup County High School. And now to the champions. First, Coach Diane Thorson, we have a special award for you. Now, Coach, hand out the gold medals to your championship team members. Kara Larson. Laurice Hanson. Laura DeLigi. Carrie Shepard. Justa Wall. Sarah Kibben. Krista Weber. Katie Tranel. Leslie Haig. Katie Hayden. Jamie Neunenkamp. Sarah Cooper. Sarah Fagan. And now, for these outstanding athletes and their school, here is the 2000 Class D2 State Volleyball Trophy. Congratulations, Hampton High School.
Your D2 state champions with a thrilling 3-game victory over Loup County. Very exciting match, and Hampton takes home the state trophy. We're going to come back and talk with the winning coach and some of those players from the Hampton Hawks when we return to Pershing Auditorium. We'll be right back after this.
Got a picture that shows off your skill as a hunter or angler? Share it with us at Outdoor Nebraska, and we might put it on the air and around the world on the internet. Or maybe you have a photo that shows the beauty of Nebraska. Either way, we'll pick the best each week to feature on Outdoor Nebraska. Make sure to include your name, address, and phone number, along with the names of people in your photo. Then watch Outdoor Nebraska Thursdays and Saturdays on Nebraska ETV, and Sundays on Nebraska ETV2. For details, visit our website at net.unl.edu and watch Outdoor Nebraska to see your pictures on TV.
Next time on Austin City Limits, Leanne Womack.